Hi, everybody. Happy Impromptu Tuesday, we'll call it, going live. It's been quite a while since I've been live here for a message of hope reading today. And I just thought, you know what? Let's just do some like loving, sweet, nurturing, virtual hug-like messages. Um, that basically remind you that you are loved. Just, remembering that you are loved. And I was so eager to hit that go button because I saw that it was 3:33 on the clock. And I said, we're going to start right now, right now, right now. 3:33 is a beautiful number of love and guidance and support from above. So I'm just going to share some loving, kind, supportive messages today from various decks that I have. We're not going to necessarily be telling any particular story, although I say that now, and hey, that could change as soon as we get going. So we'll see. And so I'm going to start out the gate. I'm going to start with a guardian angel card message. Let's just see. Let's see what wants to come through. And if you are here with me live, feel free to say hello down in the comments. Let me know that you're here. And if you are here when I am live, I'm also open to pulling a card specifically for you if you happen to see this, and let me know in the comments. So let's see. What's starting guardian angel message? Oh, dang. They like all wanted to pop out. Okay, I'm just going to read what I see. And then I think what we have here is what's in my hand is going to be like the core one. I see affirmation. I see compassion. I see oneness. And I see inspiration. And here, okay. So I said we're going to be focusing on remembering you are loved, right? The card right here says conflict. Okay. So this is probably why today's message would be relevant and a source of support and hope for you at this time. So it says conflict. Feelings which you have suppressed for a very long time are yearning to be acknowledged and expressed. You are torn between what you think is the right thing to do and what your heart wants. And this is the primary cause of stress in your life. We, your angels, urge you to follow your heart. Do what you would love, not what you think you should. Follow your heart so you don't have that mind-heart incoherence and energetic conflict, right? That was too funny. What were the other cards here? Well, okay, you know what? Because there were 3 in my hand, right? This felt like the core one, the conflict one. But what was right next to it? We have breakthrough and positive outcome. So good things are on the horizon, right? When we see conflict, we might freak out and think, oh no, everything's just falling apart. And in so many words, it's the end of the world, so to speak. But no, it's not, right? It's not ever. Conflict shows us, for every problem, there's a solution. It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. So let's see. So let's say we're experiencing some conflict. And let's do a healing energy oracle card right now. So if you're experiencing some conflict, what energy wants to come through to really support you in having greater ease with that? Take a deep breath in, remembering you are loved. Absolutely. What do we have? We have inner work. Inner work. God brings me ideal situations for my inner healing. As I become aware of my weaknesses, I turn them into strengths. I direct my thoughts toward the light and see the positive side of every stage of my life. Darkness turns into courage. Thus, I get stronger. You might want to just take a look at that. Feel free, of course, to screenshot that. And you can certainly meditate on this. I mean, this brings to mind that image. I don't know the name of that. That image of like the man and he's got his arms out and like there's the whole grid behind him, right? I know there's a name for that. I don't know what it is. But I think that's supposed to be basically represent like a very holistic approach to looking at a person, right? They're every aspect of them. So, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of it. so that person can come into oneness with himself, right? So conflict sometimes is outside of ourselves, sometimes it's inside ourselves. Sometimes it's inside ourselves because of it's outside of ourselves, right? um and of course you determine where you are, but I just really see as like inner alchemy, coming into balance, a sense of homeostasis within, allowing the light, placing focus on the light so the light can permeate through the conflict. Allowing the power of the light. And as I say that, what does that mean? That means anything that feels good and positive and aligned, allowing that to be the dominant energy, the dominant force in your energy field and your thoughts and your emotions. And so shifting the balance, right? So if there's a habit of like going back and forth between, oh my gosh, all this conflict and things aren't going well and I don't know what's going on, and then maybe you dip into a little bit like, okay, it's going to work out, it's going to be okay, but then do you immediately go right back to the conflict, right? That would be like an imbalance of the positivity. And so just kind of taking that extra step to shift the balance in your favor. So if you only take a few minutes to shift into that positive side of things and aligning with the light, double that, triple that, right? Take it to the next step. So for those that are just joining, hello, good to see you. The intention here is we're doing messages of hope that are solely focused on, well, I shouldn't say solely, but the intention is to remember that you are loved. And so just really focusing on some positive, uplifting messages right now. We started out with conflict. Ironically, the guardian angel message was conflict. And then we moved into inner work as an energy. And let's now do, okay, yeah, we're going to move into a how to love yourself card next. So this is like positive affirmations and stuff. I've got a few other decks we'll pull from here, but just receiving some love and nurturing. Let's see here. What how to love yourself card wants to come through to support everyone in remembering that they are already loved. Okay, what do we have? We have, I know inwardly what is right for me. And the back says, I look in the mirror and say to myself, I deserve all good. I deserve to be prosperous. I deserve joy. I deserve love. Absolutely. So what I really get here is really coming back home. So if we're talking about inner conflict, this is about conflict between head and heart. And so if we're talking about, maybe you place more emphasis or trust or just more weight on things outside of you, right? Other people, other situations. And maybe you are challenged to really believe the things that you say to yourself. If there were to be one person saying something about you and then you saying something about you, does the other person's statement about you hold more weight than what you would choose to say for yourself? What I see here is, as we're talking about allowing inner work to be part of what supports us and getting back into alignment, I see mirror work as being part of that. Mirror work. And so it's a whole other experience when you do mirror work and you say the positive affirmations to yourself while looking at yourself and you do it out loud. That's a whole other experience. And so affirming for yourself that you do deserve love. We're talking today about remembering you are loved and affirming for yourself that you do have the inner wisdom to tune into what is right for you. Sometimes part of this journey is about learning to trust your intuition. And I know I talk about that a lot on here because it's relevant. Let's see what else. Let's see what other self-love message wants to come through. Let's get another self-love message that is relevant for all those who are remembering that they are loved now and always. What else wants to come through? Okay, what do we have here? This present experience is a stepping stone to a new awareness. And the back says, my spiritual growth comes to me in ways I don't quite expect. I know I am always safe. This present experience is a stepping stone to a new awareness. Yeah, a lot of times when we've got conflict, it's just like the conflict is so uncomfortable that we might forget that, wait a second, this is just an experience. It's just a moment in time. And there will be, there will be something better on the other side, right? Whether it be sooner or later. And of course, the more we do, say, the inner work or focus on the light, shift focus to the light, that kind of thing, then it becomes a lot easier to really like trust in this, right? This present experience is a stepping stone to a new awareness. It's just part of what's happening right now. And your spiritual growth comes to you in ways you don't quite expect. And I'll just repeat some of that because I know some of you might be just joining. I know I am always safe. I wanted to say the spiritual growth coming to you in ways you don't quite expect. That's something that has been something that was just interesting to see evolve for me personally, over the years. I think I started out, and I'm sharing this because I don't know, maybe you can relate. Feel free to let me know. I'd love to hear. Is that I started out thinking that like spiritual growth was maybe only going to come through, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be honest. I'm sort of just like talking this out loud for the first time, maybe right now. But I think I used to distill it down to, it comes through meditation and like solely, right? Like something to that effect. Like it was just sort of narrow, having that spiritual connection, spiritual communication, and spiritual growth was just sort of like on that level, right? But no, you're a spiritual being having the human experience. And so your spiritual growth is going to come through all the various ways that you're also living out your human experience, which makes total sense, like the more we think about it. But I don't know, that just felt relevant to highlight. So I don't know, let me know if there's anything that shows up for you in that. Yeah. And so I think why that's showing up right now is because if we're talking about conflict, and this card was referencing inner conflict between head and heart. But you might be going, yeah, I'm experiencing some conflict, but maybe the conflict is more external to you, right? Maybe other people you're encountering in your life, other just circumstances, situations. And it might be helpful to you right now to just recognize where the spiritual growth shows up within that like human experience that you're having right now. And in what way, as you think about that experience, whatever external conflicting situation you're having right now, as you think about that, what if you were to also imagine this depiction of light? Like if you were to, maybe just close your eyes for a moment, assuming you're driving and it's safe to close your eyes wherever you are, close your eyes for a moment, tune into the situation that's at hand, and then combine it with also this light, right? So visualize this light also permeating and expanding all throughout you and the situation at hand, filling up all parties with the light. And you can look at it from like in this shape, right? Just kind of see the light glowing and beaming out, extending out, clearing out areas of conflict, of confusion, of misunderstanding, of unwanted, right? Low vibe energies or emotions, and really paving the path for clear thought, feeling grounded in the situation. Remembering that you are supported and loved even within the conflicting situation. I think I already said clarity of thought, but what was with that? Just being able to navigate your way forward with much greater ease, right? Ease and harmony. And so to really just infusing that light into the situation. It feels like that's what's coming through on that. Okay, we're going to move to a spirit animal card. Let's do a spirit animal. And feel free, if you're with me live and you'd like me to pull a card for you, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Okay, just taking a quick deep breath. And what spirit animal wants to come through in support of reminding everyone that you are loved, remembering that you are loved? What do we have here? It says, how perfect. It says Jaguar growth. It says maturity is the ability to embrace change, and change cannot happen without death. This death does not necessarily mean physical death, but could be the ending of a relationship, a situation, or simply your decision to not continue with the same old habits. That could be part of the conflict too, right? The conflict of experiencing an ending of some sort. And what is an ending? An ending is always another new beginning, or at least implies that. Sometimes a new beginning with the same situation, same people, or maybe not. Maybe something entirely different. And a lot of times what prolongs the conflict feeling is thinking that whatever was the good aspect of that, oh no, I'm losing all of that, right? But what if, again, we were to say, okay, I choose to infuse the light into this moment of growth, and whether or not I can see where the next degree of love and harmony is going to come from, right? With whether it be with the same people and situation or with new people and situations, I can trust in knowing that in my alignment, in me choosing to stay focused on that all things are working for my greatest good, that I not only am I going to be able to navigate through this conflict and this change, but there's new love, there's new beauty, there's new harmony, there's right. And what if it might even be even better on some level? A lot of the times we get really hung up on the conflict because we think things are never going to be as good or never be as wonderful. And that really asks us to get clear and be honest with ourselves. Well, okay, wait a second. Am I looking at things through rose-colored glasses? What really did need to change, right? And if it does need to really change, well then the shift that's taking place right now actually works to my benefit, right? And this too is just a phase, an experience of the bigger picture. And wait a second, yeah, I can prepave what's coming next through my thoughts, through tuning into my emotions, through my self-talk. We talked about the mirror work earlier. And what if I can actually draw to me even more positivity, even more love, even more excitement, fun, hope, whatever it might be, prosperity, right? Infuse that into the next situation, even if I don't fully know what that looks like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? We don't want to get hung up on the hows, because then that means we're trying to control things more than what we really have access to in the present moment. And so recognizing what we do have control with, I can say, you know what? I know that there's still more goodness of life to experience up ahead. And so I'm going to choose to keep that channel open through my thoughts, through my intentions, through where I place my focus. Okay, I don't want to ramble too much here, so I'm going to cut myself off on that one. But that feels, ask yourself, how does that feel to think about that? Like, wow, have I considered that I am that powerful, that I actually could, that I have the power to generate a new experience that is, either the same type of harmony and love and beauty and awesomeness that the previous experience had, or what if it could be even better? And remaining open to that. Okay, I'm going to pull from the Divine Beloved cards now. These are nice. They have kind of like short little prayers. So let's see what message wants to come through for all those who are in a space of remembering that you are loved now and always. What message wants to come through for all those? Okay, soulmate. I am one who trusts. So, based on what we've already been talking about, this is about becoming one. We had oneness earlier too. This is about becoming one with yourself, becoming your own best friend, learning to love yourself. Allow me, divine beloved, to trust that the perfect person has already been selected. In the right place and time, we shall meet. For you know every true desire of my heart. May I only wish for what you wish for me. And so what's coming to mind is that meme or that quote out there that says, what do I need to do in order to attract the perfect person? Or just, let's rephrase that, right? So let's take perfect out of it. No one's looking to be perfect. No one's perfect. What do I need to do in order to find a person that loves who I am? Well, start with being a person who loves who you are, right? It's all of those things. How do I get that? How do I get that person, attract that person? Well, are we being that person for ourselves? And of course, yeah, how do we show up and be that for others as well? But it all starts with here first. Otherwise, we end up seeking for someone else to fill that which is empty, so to speak, inside us. What else do we have here? Let's just see here. And just maybe like if you're really feeling this, like I so want to remember that I am loved, right? If you're in this space right now of just like, I really want that, like that hug, that energetic hug, maybe maybe go, wrap yourself in a blanket that you love, curl up and, remind yourself, like you give yourself that hug. Hi, Kieran. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Let me know if you'd like me to pull a card for you. So that's what I'm really getting here, that, this is about you coming into harmony with yourself, right? When there's external conflict, it always helps. And we're not, everyone's going to have a different situation. Okay, Kieran, I will in just a moment. Everyone's going to have a different situation. Regardless of what external circumstances of conflict there are, it always benefits us on some level to go, okay, wait a second. Where might there be conflict stirring within me? What can I do to shift some of that internally? Whether or not it's related to the external situation or not, it will on some level have a positive effect on that. So, okay, let's see here. Kieran is saying, Kieran, I think, did you mean SP, like SPs, like special person's feelings and intentions towards you? So here's what I will say. Let's see here. What do we want to do here? So today's messages are about remembering that you are loved. And I often say that these are not actually intended to be these are intuitive readings, but these are not intended to be predictive. So I just want to put that out there. With that said, I'm just thinking of which card decks to pull from. So I think what I'm going to do first for you, Kieran, and of course for anybody else watching, because whether or not you ask the question, sometimes there are still messages that come through for another person that may resonate with you too. So we're going to pull another, oh, got it. I see what you're saying, Kieran. Okay, we're going to pull another self-love card first. And so, Kieran, in response to your question, I'm first going to pull a self-love card, and then I'll pull from another deck that speaks a little more to your question. So let's see here. Let's get another self-love message, because, that's one of those things. It's like fill up your cup first, right? Fill up your cup first, and then we have the energy for other people and situations. And so what message there we go. What do we have here? Okay, so Kieran and anybody else this resonates with, we have, I say yes to opportunity and abundance. And the back says, I attract prosperity with ease. I constantly receive incredible gifts from life. So, Kieran, I know this may not sound like it's related to your question, but feel free to see how else this might apply to your life, and feel free to let me know if it does or not. In regards to your question, I am going to pull from a couple of other decks. And I'm going to pull from the, I'm going to assume that I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the person you're talking about is a romance person. So this is the romance oracle. Let's see here. Ooh, okay. It says, I am scared of commitment. Let's see if there's one more for Kieran in terms of feelings and intentions towards her. Just going to take a moment. Okay, what additional message is there for Kieran? And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Oh my goodness. Kieran's asking, what are his feelings and intentions towards her? Let's see. What insight can we gain on that? I wonder if, let's see. Okay, what is this one? We have, okay, I want to be more than friends. So I'm scared of commitment. I want to be more than friends. So it sounds like conflicting feelings, which I'm going to imagine if this resonates for you, Kieran, then you might be getting mixed messages from him, which sounds to me like an opportunity for a conversation. Those are fun, aren't they? Anyway, Kieran, I apologize. I'm just laughing at myself and what's going on with me. I hope that I hope this was helpful in some way. Let's do one more. So, Kieran, I'm going to close for you with another card from Divine Beloved Oracle, and these will have just sort of another message of wisdom. Let's see. One final message for Kieran in regards to her question. One final message for Kieran. Oh, okay. What do we have? Oh, look at this. It says, challenge. I embrace all tests. Allow me to flow with what cannot change. Let me embrace all tests and release any fear of loss, knowing that all can be replenished with ease by divine will. I embrace all tests. And if this is resonating for you, let me put it over here. Then you might want to go ahead and come back to this and screenshot it. I don't know if you can read that. I'm trying to hold it straight. And maybe save that just as a reminder for you and an affirmation for you, right? That if you're in a situation, I know Kieran messaged this. Oh, okay. He's talking to someone else and he is really scared of commitment, deciding between two girls for marriage. Okay. So sounds like not only is he being challenged, but of course you're being challenged too right now, right? And so prime time to remind yourself of your value, of how you are loved, and really support and nurture yourself through this time. If this is a situation, I'm gathering this might be like a possible arranged marriage. So where was I going with that thought? That this might be a time for you to bolster your own sense of identity and worth, and making sure that through this time of him making a decision and uncertainty, that you're not also abandoning yourself, right? That you are maintaining there for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to move on. We're going to close out this reading with just a few more cards. And we're going to do, I think we'll first do a self-care card. Let's see here. What self-care message wants to come through for all those who are in a space of remembering they are loved? Oh, hello. Okay, the one that fell on the floor says trust your decisions. And this one, hello, says choice. Okay. The back says reconsider a commitment. You have the right to change your mind. Reconsider a commitment. You have the right to change your mind. And so this can apply to anything. And I know there are, many of you that are going to be seeing this message, whether this be a relationship, whether this be, it could even going back to being aligned with yourself. This could be, maybe do you have a work commitment that you are more committed to than maybe taking care of yourself? Or maybe you are more committed to, taking care of someone else and neglecting yourself in the process somehow, something of that sort. Reconsider the balance of that. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to switch things up, right? And can have a conversation about it too. We're not talking about completely neglecting or leaving another, your work or another person, in the cold and doing something that would harm them. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, wait a second, if things are imbalanced, how can I look at this and what can I do to let's rebalance things, right? Because you matter just as much. You matter just as much. And when it's you living your life, it's like you are your number one priority, right? Ultimately, although that gets out of balance sometimes, right? Okay. So, and this is such a beautiful angel. So we'll just take a look at that one more time. Beautiful angel. Where might you be thinking you don't have choice? And then reconsider what options do I have in this scenario? What else? And right underneath that, we have magnificence, giving yourself that hug. Own your magnificence. The world needs your brilliance and grace. When you shine, our world shines that much brighter. Own your beauty, own your light, own your worth. Own how amazing your unique personality is. Own what you bring to the table in a relationship with another person or with an employer, within your friendships. There is no other person out there just like you. Nobody. Ever. Okay, I'm going to do two more and then we're going to close out. I'm going to do a Keepers of the Light. Keepers of the Light. And Kieran, I know you've posted a few more questions, but just to affirm, this isn't a predictive channel. So so just want to make sure you know that. This is more about uplifting messages for people who are on a personal development type journey. And I recognize that that's some of the wording I got to shift in some of the description on my channel, but I thank you all for being here. That's for sure. Let's see. Keepers of the Light. Okay. What do we have? What is here? I think we've got two actually. Okay. We have Hilarion, Divine Healing. And it says, honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. Absolutely. That would be part of that recommitment, right? Let's say you're like, you know what? I got to pivot today. There's an imbalance and I got to pivot and I'm going to go spend some time just focused on me today. You have permission to do that. Honor your sensitivity. Yeah. Sensitivity. What does that require? That requires knowing yourself, right? Owning your magnificence, recognizing the beauty in your sensitivity, and not judging it, right? Or if we are judging it, saying, okay, why am I judging this, right? What's the value of my sensitivity? What is it trying to tell me right now in this moment? Okay, the second one we have, it says charity. This is beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen this one. It says charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Okay, this is really, Okay, so remember we started out with the focus of today's live reading being about remembering how you are loved. And all of this red is just like screaming that love to me. But what it's also doing, because notice she's got all those roses around her head, around her crown. And all of those roses are also emanating a light in every which direction, right? There's not just a few arrows, there's a lot of arrows. And so what I'm getting is really this like alignment that comes deep from within, your root chakra, where you feel safe, secure, stable. That's at the base of your spine down there. And then your chakras go up. And look at that. It's like beaming out of her head. And so she is feeling so strong and stable and loved from within that it is emanating from her crown, emanating from her sense of knowing her worth, emanating through her thoughts, allowing her thoughts of knowing how safe and secure she is, of knowing how supported she is, of knowing that she doesn't need to stop at just, one or two positive statements for herself. She can talk kindly to herself all gosh darn day. Really, really help boost her self-confidence, really just help her to feel in alignment. I mean, when was the last time you really felt in alignment? I know some of you are going to be like, oh, all the time, Kim, right? Some of you might be like, I don't know. I have no clue. Maybe a little bit yesterday morning and that was it, right? What if you could increase that? What if you could feel alignment for like, half a day? What if you could feel in alignment for an entire day, for an entire week? And that might be asking a lot, but the point is that nothing is impossible. And so what if you were to really, really pour into yourself more than what you ever have so that you can feel that sense of coming into oneness with self, feeling that sense of grounded inner stability and love from within. Because as you are so filled up, and look, she's not doing this alone. She's praying. She's praying and she's doing that inner work, and that's where that contemplation is. And so by remembering that, and here's where I love it, right? I love when we get to look at the word remember as remember, right? Remember, putting two things back together. And so here you are, this beautiful spiritual being having the human experience. And when you pray, you are connecting with the higher aspect and energy that is supporting you on your human journey, and allowing yourself to come into union with God, higher self, whatever terminology you like to use, connecting with heaven, and knowing the power of your words and your thoughts, and really allowing all of this to elevate to the next level, because you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to feel massive love all day, every day. And to not punish yourself or make yourself wrong when that doesn't happen, right? And of course, as I say that, I'm hearing Abraham Hicks right now. And so that could be just a reminder to maybe, get out one of your Abraham Hicks books if you are a fan of Abraham Hicks, or Google some Abraham Hicks videos online. To also support you in remembering that you are loved, because that ask and it is given phrase, I want to say comes from them, but I know not necessarily, right? It's in the Bible too and stuff like that. That's just my initial frame of reference because of their book. Okay, I'm going to pull one final card from Postcards from Spirit, and then we're gonna end here. So let's see here. Take a deep breath. Let's see what message wants to come through to really support everyone. I love it. We have, you are magic. That's what the backside says. Okay, so it says, you are magic, and there's a firefly here. Okay, it says, dearest you, there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes a loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. I'm going to read that again. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open wide. Feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. Okay, that was weird wording. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you, sending you love, always and forever. So, this is going right back to the beginning of today's message about inner conflict between head and heart. And I loved that this emphasized allowing yourself to have your experience. Your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Do you know that it really only takes 90 seconds to feel and process an emotion? Yet how often do so many of us say, ooh, this situation doesn't feel good, this feels uncomfortable, and we immediately start to block off and start to avoid our feelings. And therefore, what do we end up doing? We end up just like building and compounding right on top of it. And I'm laughing because I relate. I get it. And so if you are dealing with that, I'm so sorry, because I know how heavy that can be, right? And so if this relates to what you're dealing with right now, this is an excellent time to remember that even through this experience, you are loved. You are so deeply loved. You are so deeply cherished and valued. And oh, heck, if you want to take an even much bigger perspective, we can also argue that no matter what seems to not be going well in life, just hear me out. You can also still make a case for you cannot get this life experience wrong. Now, okay, as I say that, I know you're probably thinking, what? No, there's so much going wrong. Wrong, right? And so this could be a good time. This is just a good reference to go back to check out some Abraham Hicks, okay? If that is intriguing you, you might want to check out some Abraham Hicks recordings and messages on higher perspective, on, life after death, on, you cannot get this wrong, right? Just type in any of those phrasings with Abraham Hicks and you'll get tons of things. So this is saying, allow yourself to feel your feelings. Feel your feelings, because when we don't, we just trap them inside. And that's what makes things more and more and more challenging. So allowing yourself to have your experience, feel what you feel. And the way I like to think about that is that you're not only crying and feeling, right, with like nowhere to go with it, but like pairing it up with, this is assuming that you're in the space of being open to growth, of doing the inner work. And you're pairing up, what are those new insights? What are the lessons? What are the things that you've been avoiding? Pairing those thoughts and awareness up with, I'm releasing the emotion that's so heavy. And then call back in your remembrance of how loved you also are as you move through this. I think we are complete right now. So I'm going to leave it there. But I hope you enjoyed this. As always, let me know what you're taking away from this reading. It was good to be here with you. And I thank you for being part of this channel. Thank you for the liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, the commenting. It's great to always connect with you. Have an amazing day. Know that every day truly is a new day. And that's a metaphor for every moment. You and your thoughts, your words are powerful, first and foremost for yourself. And if that's something that is new to you, then I challenge you to experiment with it, right? If you know that saying negative things to yourself yields more negative feelings, let's try the other side. Try saying more positive things to yourself so you can have more positive experiences and feelings. Okay, I could talk about this stuff for days. So I'm sending you a virtual hug. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all again soon.